Sitting here in a Wall Street breakfast cafe, having a cappuccino and a croissant. Seemed like the thing to do. And what I'm wondering is, where is everybody? Oh yeah, they're in their cubicles somewhere out there, working, slaving away, paying the man. Cheers. I'm here to talk to you about the bull on Wall Street. And when I say bull, I mean the real bull. Stockbrokers, they don't even sell stocks. They just sell brokerage to make commissions. Fund managers, they make money whether the fund goes up, goes down, or nowhere whatsoever. Financial advisors, they sell you the products they make the most commissions on. I mean, I guess they got to pay for those expensive offices somehow. So I'm standing here in the Wall Street graveyard. Right behind me is the American Stock Exchange. And it just seems so ironic, surrounded by all these unfulfilled dreams, all the shattered visions that died here. And yet, this graveyard is full of these beautiful tulips. So I'm standing here surrounded by a cement jungle. And in every one of these buildings, there's a weird phenomenon that happens. There's one landlord and a whole bunch of people who pay that landlord rent. And I guess my question to you is, which side do you want to be on? In the stock market, there are a whole bunch of people who love to trade on a daily basis. They're speculators, and they want to acquire the rights to buy other people's stocks. Guess what? They have to acquire those rights from the owners. In real estate, we call them landlords. In the stock market, they're sharelords. It just trips me out that people are willing every day to get into this concrete jungle, hop on this subway, and ride somewhere to slave away day in, day out.
A lot of institutionalized souls.
Yeah, right. So, Nick, you're telling me that this strategy has been around since the early 70s?
About 1973.
Now, why don't we know about this?
It's just the language that was being used by all these fund managers and brokers and what have you. The thing is, there was so much testosterone in the language, so much hieroglyphics, and a lot of these individuals, they complicated the language, I guess, just to make them sound more intelligent than what they really are. But I mean, all I did was, I just removed all the paralysis from the analysis and just made it really easy to embrace and to really understand.
Now, I know we use the analogy all the time to describe Sharelord that it's really much like being a landlord. You're basically renting out your shares.
We're renting out shares.
Can you explain that a little bit more for us?
Okay, what we do is we buy a parcel of shares, and what we do is then we rent it out. Now, in the market, there are different market participants. We have the Sharelords who create the market, and there are speculators and tenants on the other side. So what we do as Sharelords, we create a market for these speculators to trade. So what we do is we rent out our shares to the tenants. They trade the contracts of our shares. Now they're hoping to make a profit, but in our particular case, there's a guaranteed profit up front from day one.
Now see, that's what I don't understand. Why aren't people smart enough to say, forget all this speculative gambling-like trading, just be the Sharelord and just rent out your shares. Why are there so many speculators and so few Sharelords?
I came from the other side once upon a time ago. The speculative, the exorbitant highs and the speculative donations,
Speculative donations.
Absolutely. But on this side of the fence, I mean, where it's far more conservative, we're able to generate between 3 and 9% on a monthly basis. It's a phenomenal way in regards to fiscal discipline and also to budget, because you know exactly how much money you're generating. And prior to every transaction, you know exactly how much money you make up front, and that's very powerful. That's
amazing. So in essence, it's kind of like being the person that knows how much rent they're going to collect.
Absolutely.
Except for one difference. There's no vacancies.
Well, the thing is, there is so much liquidity and there is so much demand because there are millions and millions of speculators out there in the marketplace. And we're the Sharelords. So you know what? We're the ones who are providing the market for them, and we open up our transaction with a credit, which is always a great thing too. So.
It's amazing because we're sitting here with Lady Liberty in the background, and I'm thinking about liberty and how much of that is gone out there because we're just so trapped and stuck in our day-to-day routine and our job, and somehow we've got to figure out better cash flow strategies.
I mean, it's freedom, but you can buy back time. I mean, this is a phenomenal one, trading strategy where you can actually implement it from any remote location anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's a lifestyle. I mean, you know, this is your liberties, this is the emancipation of life.
Here comes the tenant. I got the inventory because I'm the Sharelord. Here comes somebody looking for a contract because I am the Sharelord. Here comes somebody looking for a handout from the Sharelord.
And you know, Rich, they just keep on coming.
I'm standing here at the birthplace of capitalism. This is where it all starts. This is what drives everybody's financial life on a global level, worldwide. Check it out, George Washington. So Sharelord realistically represents one of the pillars of financial freedom.
Absolutely. I mean, how many property investors are there in the world?
A lot.
I mean, you know, Sharelord is a phenomenal tandem strategy in regards to property investment because Sharelord's all about cash flow.
So then you end up combining the real estate pillar with the cash flow generation Sharelord pillar.
And when you have cash flow and capital growth, that is recession and depression proof.
So I'm leaving now, saying goodbye to the pigeons, the tourists, the hot dog vendors, our squirrel friends, of course, and heading back to the beach because, hey, you can live anywhere and be a Sharelord.
So, Rich, let's enjoy our day.
You know, while all those people are out there gambling on the stock exchange, look at this, the New York Wine Exchange. Hey, have I told you how fine the 1990 First Growth Bordeaux were?
Shall we taste?
I think we need to try a few.